Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rise and Benefits of Robotic Process Automation. I'm your host, Thomas Haver. Let's just jump in it today since we have 8 minutes of time. I have a background in research science, molecular fluorescence spectroscopy, microscopy. I'm an avid board gamer, as you see behind me, on around 3,000 games. I'm also an evangelist for Ruby Cucumber. It's my favorite form of behavior-driven development and automation. I also have a lovely cartoon family who I thank for being quiet during this recording. If you're interested in learning more about automation or DevOps, please feel free to go to my team site, Red Green Refactor. Today, we're going to talk about what is RPA, what are some of the benefits of adoption, the journey that you'll go on for a team or an enterprise, as well as some of the most common tools in the industry that you'll likely use in the course of your journey. Let's start off with the level setting. What is robotic process automation? It's a term given to technology that allows developers to programmatically emulate the actions of a human to execute a business process. It often executes on that UI layer to capture data or interact with an application or across multiple applications to perform those tasks that are considered repetitive or time-consuming. Bots within RPA are those program sequences of automated activities performed by the tool. They can do something as simple as navigate to a web page or as complex as provide a decision recommendation on a mortgage loan application. There are 4 categories of RPA solutions. The first is assisted. Those are bots that are deployed to a human worker's workstation. Unassisted are bots that are deployed on a server and can be manually controlled. Autonomous are bots with more complicated processes that often have decision trees, such as changing priorities based upon external input or workload balance. And lastly, you have cognitive, which are bots that are integrated with AI technologies such as machine learning and natural language processing. Along your RPA journey, you're going to need to make several considerations. You begin with a small proof of concept, and you're going to try to align the people, process, and technology. Your expectations are that the solution should operate across the same layers of the application as a human worker. The libraries you have will integrate with your standard tech stack. It's version control, just like any application under development, that you have an internal technical prowess level set at developers, therefore you can code, or people with low code experience, or maybe you're just working with business analysts, you need to go with the codeless RPA solution. You also need to put in place a standard for your defect tracking and test coverage, because RPA is going to be another system under test, just like any other developed application. You need to always build with the enterprise in mind. So that means you need to make sure that you have scalability and a deployment strategy up front, such as, are you going to run this on virtual machines or in the cloud? Are they going to be attended, unattended, or both? Does it support web services? Do you have a central application server to help orchestrate? And what security standards do you have in place so you don't have any so-called super users or bots that have more access than a human would? When you form a team, you need to put together a group of individuals, first on a volunteer basis, but these are people who are going to be dedicated to building out your RPA solution from a strategic and technical standpoint. From the tactical standpoint, you're going to have RPA developers who are going to be experts responsible for developing and testing the bots. These are your actual application developers or maybe test automation engineers. You're going to have an architect slide into the role who had that same role prior, who's going to be involved in designing the solution, selecting the tooling, and the guidelines for adoption. From the strategic side, you're going to have a champion. You need one person who can talk to those C-level executives to advocate for adoption of RPA across multiple business segments. The scope of this is not just technology, but all business segments within your enterprise. You're also going to have RPA analysts that have domain knowledge about the business and are responsible for creating those process flows. These can be your business systems analysts or product owners, whoever ultimately has that SME knowledge or subject matter expert knowledge for those applications. From a tooling standpoint, there are multiple tools that are available on the market. You need to find the right tool for the job, though. So the questions you will ask yourself while going shopping is, will the organization want to pay on a per transaction or per process basis? Do you want to pay for fixed or variable usage? Do you have access to training and documentation? What is their support model? How often is their platform updated? What is their roadmap? And who are the business partners? And can those pre-built libraries be used immediately into your tech stack? There are a lot of options available for you in the industry. How do you end up selecting the right one for you, or know really where to perform a POC rather than going through this full list? Well, ultimately, you've got some support out there with Gartner and Forrester Research. They'll provide you guidance. I'm going to talk briefly about the four most popular in the industry. So first is Blue Prism, which has been around for a while. They have a design studio with a low technical hurdle compared to most automation solutions, although it does require some programming knowledge. They have a drag and drop UI design that's very similar to, say, like Visio diagrams, and they have Citrix and virtual desktop infrastructure integration. One of the benefits for some of these like large players is they put in place a full support model with training and third-party accreditation. So you can hire a Blue Prism certified developer. Automation Anywhere is another popular solution, originally focused primarily in the desktop space, but they have expanded their offerings to include most application types. You can build RPA workflows in Automation Anywhere with a low technical hurdle, although anything that's more advanced will require knowledge of XML or C#. You have central control features, you have scheduling and triggering capabilities, so having that orchestrator in place is useful. And they also offer accreditation for certification. Power Automate, which is formerly Microsoft Flow, is a cloud-native low-code automation platform. They also offer training and learning resources as part of their partner program. They have a very low entry barrier. You could probably spin up a Power Automate flow on your local, if you're PC, today. The scope of the platform includes process discovery, automation ideation, ROI calculation, native support for OCR, document handling, as well as an AI builder. They have over 600 templates available for you to design a purpose, most of which are focused in the Microsoft stack, but there are things you can pull down and say, use a template for sending yourself a text message via Slack when your boss emails you. Quite useful. The AI builder has multiple model types, so you can just pretty much select and paint by numbers here with category classification, language detection, prediction, form processing, object detection, and as you can imagine, this can apply to many different areas. UiPath, though, is the big boy on the block. So this company has a customer base exceeding 3,000, including many Fortune 500 companies. Their very popular one is they've got a good marketing program. They also put out a robust training program that was originally free for certification. They also have multiple tiers of IDE to fit the technical skill set and support for most popular tech stacks. So that way you can easily integrate with your own. As mentioned, they have a Studio Pro, which allows you to create automated tests just like any other workflow. And Studio X is for those less technically adept team members. So RPA testing will allow you to have those capabilities in the given when then format in a very simple flow diagram as you see on the right, and support for integration with things such as Postman, as well as executing it within a pipeline, their orchestrator tool. And they have capabilities built in for natural language processing, optical character recognition, machine learning. And what's most impressive about it is their test manager integration that allows you to go between your existing project tracking tool for testing and all of those IDEs. So you can assign test cases, you can update user stories, you can have bug reports with log information and screenshots, making things very easy. So what are some key takeaways from today? Well, what you need to remember when building out a program is, first and foremost, you will have agreement between the development team and whoever is sponsoring it on what the successful end state will look like. So you build with the goal in mind. Additionally, that RPA team should maintain a consistent pace for work, just like any application development team. And lastly, no one metric that you use will determine success or failure of a program. You want to use the telemetry provided by those orchestration tools as context to drive decisions. Thank you for your time today. If you're interested in learning more, I've published this in the book, Accelerating Software Quality, an anthology series on software quality. Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your day.